Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong and I am the Get Fit Guy. If you type the words fitness boxing into your search engine, whichever one you choose, you may be dazzled by the vast array of gyms that provide this type of class. But do boxing workouts work? Are they effective? Well, today I go undercover at a gym called 9 Round to find out. Okay, let me start with this. With all the mounting evidence on how impactful an impact to the head can be on our health and well-being, well, there is no way that I would ever recommend that any of you put yourself in the danger of getting hit. But with gyms like 9 Round popping up around the world, well, there's no chance of you actually getting into a ring, let alone taking any punches. So I feel confident including boxing workouts in my fitness toolkit. So, okay, with that out of the way, when a listener named Morgan called the Get Fit Guy hotline and asked about boxing workouts, I was excited to dig in. Let's hear what Morgan had to say.
Hi, Brock. I had a question about boxing. Can you get fit by doing a boxing type of class? I really enjoy them, but are there enough to really do anything to get me fit? Thanks.
All right, that is a great question. So let's take a look. The genre known as fitness boxing is simply an adaptation of the movements from the sport that most of us associate with a fellow named Rocky. Personal trainers and fitness entrepreneurs alike have taken many elements of boxing, both the punching part and the general fitness part, and blended them into an exercise routine that we can all do. And in a nutshell, these workouts use things like heavy bags, boxing gloves, and other boxing and kickboxing gear combined with aerobic and resistance training exercises to provide a full-body, sweat-inducing, and somewhat cathartic workout. Unlike traditional boxing, which requires that you spar with a partner, fitness boxing involves throwing punches, and sometimes kicks, at a punching bag. Generally speaking, there are 2 types of these classes. One type has you follow an instructor to perform a series of boxing movements that have been set to music, similar to an aerobics class or body pump or soul cycle. The class includes a mix of tight punches, called jabs, large punches, called hooks and uppercuts, ducks, squats, and some fancy footwork. The other type of fitness boxing class involves circuit training that uses a combination of strength training, agility, high-intensity interval, and punching bags. Now, this is the style that seemed to be most appealing to me, so with the help of an internet search, I put on my false nose and my fake glasses and attended a free trial session at a boxing fitness gym called 9 Round. 9 Round bills itself as a specialized fitness center for people who want unique, fun, and proven workouts that guarantee results, with workouts that are all 30 minutes long and can be started at the time you arrive as opposed to a scheduled class. Their goal is to offer, and I quote, a kickboxing-themed fitness program that incorporates functional, interval, cardiovascular, and circuit training regimens. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, when I walked into the gym, I could already see how this was going to play out. There was clearly going to be a combination of heavy bag work, kickboxing work, cardio conditioning, and some drills. And from what I'd read on the website, this was all set to a 3-minute timer, which keeps you moving through the 9 stations, which ends your workout in 30 minutes-ish, if you do the math. Now, a buzzer sounds to signify the beginning of that round. Another buzzer goes off when you have 30 seconds left, and at that time you're supposed to increase your intensity. And then a third buzzer signifies the end of that round. And then you have about 30 seconds to let your heart rate come down or to join in the transition exercise, which the trainers actually just shout out. Then it starts all over again. It's a pretty slick idea, in theory anyway. I got there pretty early, which happily turned out to not be an issue. At 9 Round, there is no sitting around waiting for a class to start. Whenever you show up, you can basically dive straight into the first of the 3-minute stations and get punching. As a franchise, every 9 Round gym is set up in basically the same way, but the exercises change from day to day. But this is the general gist. Round 1 and 2 are focused on conditioning work. These involve exercises like lunge twists, jump rope, jogging with high knees, jumping jacks, burpees, and mountain climbers. Then rounds 3 to 8 are more boxing and kickboxing work, and this involves some speed bags, some heavy bags for punching and kicking, combined with agility work and cardio exercises. Round 9 is the core strength round, and this involves exercises that are designed to strengthen your core, and by that I mean your hips, your abs, and your lower back. Alright, so how did this actually go for me? Well, I told the 9-round trainers when I first arrived in the mostly empty gym that I was a complete noob, so they promised that they would walk me through the entire workout. But unfortunately, this turned out to be a promise that they could not keep. After they set me up with a heart rate measuring strap, which fed my beats per minute onto a few TV screens around the gym, they got me set up at my first station. But by the time I was actually at the third station, well, the gym had filled up, and they barely had time to tell me what I was supposed to be doing, let alone hold my hand. Which is not great when you only have 3 minutes at each station and a total of 30 minutes to get a decent workout done. But more on that later. Okay, let's get into the blow-by-blow of my experience at 9-round. Round 1 was jump rope. Yes, I was instructed to jump rope for 3 minutes. No warm-up, nothing fancy, just grab a rope and jump. Well, okay. Then round 2 was lunge twists and jumping jacks with a medicine ball. Okay, now we're talking. This is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy. Some full body, multi-joint movements. And by the end of this station, I was feeling pretty warm and a little bit sweaty. Then round 3, the double end striking bag. The trainer, who had pretty much abandoned me at this point, ran over and put some boxing gloves on my hands and told me to punch this oval-shaped bag that was suspended from both ends by a surprisingly erratically moving rope. I lost at least 30 seconds getting the gloves on and another 30 seconds trying to just figure out the physics of the bag, and that left me with only about 2 minutes of my very ineffective punching. I started to get a little frustrated. But then I moved on to round 4, the heavy bag. After I stood there looking lost for a few seconds, one of the trainers came running over and showed me how to kick the bag 10 times from what I could describe as a crab walk position, where you're on all fours with your belly facing upwards. Then I was told to jump up and punch the bag 10 times. Again, I lost a lot of time getting the instructions and then more time wrapping my head around these completely unfamiliar movements. And needless to say, my frustration kept growing. But on to round 5, the maze bag. This one was fun and really easy to understand. You basically kick the bottom of the bag with each foot, then give the bag an uppercut with each hand. Okay, now we're talking. And you know what? I finally must have been showing some aptitude for this workout, since one of the trainers actually ran over and cheered me on for a few seconds. My frustration was replaced by catharsis. And then on to round 6, which was the horizontal punching bag. Now, this was another station that I took to in a hurry. I'm still wearing my boxing gloves, and I was told to do a burpee. Then, with my hands on top of the bag, knee the bag from underneath with each leg, and then pound on the top of the bag 4 times with both fists, just like some caveman having a temper tantrum. I didn't lose much time at all getting into this one, and my heart rate was at an all-time high. So I moved on to round 7, and this is when things went really south. I was left standing there for quite a while, wondering what my instructions were for this station. Then it took a trainer a full minute to show me how to do the front kick and side kick properly. So by the time I was able to barely execute these 2 movements, I didn't really have much time left at all. And with that limited time, I basically flailed around ineffectively, getting frustrated again by my apparent lack of Van Damme-ness. So on to round 8, the speed bag. Now, I don't even know what to say about this. I've seen these bags on TV and in movies, but I've never actually tried one. And in the 3 minutes that I used this one, I can easily say that I am no more proficient at it than I was when I walked in the door, and therein lies my biggest issue with 9 round. But again, let's talk about that later. First, round 9, bicycle crunches. Yes, I did bicycle crunches for the better part of 3 minutes straight. And not only did this seem completely uninspired on the trainer's part, but it was also boring as heck, and not a great way to end my session. So, okay, let's go back to what I mentioned earlier about the 3 minutes not actually being long enough to become proficient at any of these unfamiliar movements. Sure. In a perfect world where I had previously been to 9 round enough times to know the jargon and be able to throw myself immediately into each station, I would have gotten a pretty good workout. And again, in a perfect world where I'd been trained properly in good punching and kicking form and technique, I would have maximized my time and not flailed about getting frustrated and also risking injury. But in reality, even if I went to 9 round every day this week, I would still only amass 21 minutes at the speed bag, and I doubt that I would have even begun to grasp the physics behind mastering the timing and the hand-eye coordination that is necessary to exercise, well, anything but my patience. I understand that if they had allowed me to spend more time learning how to use each station correctly, I would have been there pretty much all morning. I also would have drastically impacted everyone else's workouts because there was only one piece of equipment for each station. So, other than having a big warning sign on their door that reads, "If you don't know what you're doing, you should probably do yoga next door," well, I don't really have a solution for them. Now, aside from that major flaw in the structure of their workouts, my only other complaints are that, number 1, there was lack of personal attention, especially for us noobs, and number 2, there was a lack of a warm-up, which I guess I would solve on my own if I were to go again. But to get to the heart of Morgan's question that she called in and asked, well, let me start by saying that fitness boxing isn't vastly superior to any other types of exercise. There's nothing magical about it, but it does have a few decent health benefits. And one benefit is building strength. When you're swinging your arms around and moving your muscles in ways that you don't generally do in your daily life, well, you will certainly gain some upper body strength. And the same goes for your legs. My favorite exercise of the day combined burpees with kneeing a horizontal bag as hard as I could, and it left me feeling strong and pretty sore for a few days. Then, punching with maximum power requires that you put your entire weight behind the punch, making your whole body, your hips, your arms, your back, your legs, your shoulders, and your abs work together in one motion. Now, this helps build overall strength because the muscles that you use in punching, well, they help support and stabilize all movement and proper alignment in your body. Now, fitness boxing also provides some decent aerobic exercise. Anything that gets your heart pumping and makes you break a decent sweat is good in my books. And when I wasn't getting frustrated or waiting for instructions, I was indeed huffing and puffing. Plus, the concentration and fun that I was having really made those 3-minute stations fly by. Boxing is also well known for improving hand-eye coordination, especially if you're sparring with an uncooperative speed bag or you're hitting those paddle targets. When you practice movements like these, your eyes send electrical signals to your brain, providing information about the visual stimuli. Then, your brain sends more signals to your hands, telling them how to move in response to these stimuli. Now, errors in that process can result in difficulties coordinating movement and difficulties with balance, trouble focusing during sports, and difficulty learning tasks such as reading and writing. So, you can see why building and maintaining good hand-eye coordination is important for all of us, not just boxers. And one last benefit of fitness boxing is that you are constantly changing your position and challenging your balance. And the more you do that, the better your balance and proprioception reaction becomes. And just quickly, proprioception is known as body awareness and spatial awareness that ties in with hand-eye coordination. Or, in scientific terms, it is kinesthetic intelligence. Now, this obviously matters in sport and fitness, but research has also shown that increasing your proprioception can also increase your working memory that's used for holding short-term information that allows you to do things like math, solve logic problems, and even remember the name of the person that you just met. So, okay, what did I conclude after my visit to 9-Round? Well, 9-Round is indeed a good full-body workout. It's also a good and affordable option for people who only have 30 minutes and want to get a good mix of strength, agility, and coordination. It is not good for anyone, like me, who is unfamiliar with boxing and kickboxing movements, and also punching bag physics, mainly because in this short go style workout, there is no time for learning the nuance of this new skill. It is also not good for anyone with mobility issues or movement limitations. People with low bone density, osteoporosis, or arthritis, especially in your hands, would also have serious issues with this workout. But, as always, the best way to determine if a particular workout style is right for you is to give it a try. But if I were to do this all again, I would first find a nice, quiet boxing studio and spend some serious time getting the basics down before I threw myself into a situation where time is ticking, buzzers are buzzing, and the next round is only 3 minutes away. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Get Fit Guy is written, narrated, and produced by me, Brock Armstrong, with heavy lifting and editorial support from Beata Santora, social community managing from Morgan Ratner, and advertising management from Michelle Margulis. And special thanks to our head coach at Macmillan Podcasts, Kathy Doyle. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever you listen to it. And also, you can find me at Facebook and Twitter. I'm GetFitGuy and BrockArmstrong.com. Now, what are you waiting for? Get out there and throw some punches.